Welcome back, everyone, to brand new box office breakdown show here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Dinnenberg. Today, we're breaking down the box office of this past weekend, which was October the 11th to the 13th, domestic and just domestically, which is United States and Canada. We're also taking a look at the numbers so far this year, both worldwide and domestic. At the end of the video, we're going to break down the upcoming movies that are coming out this weekend and a preview for all of the videos that I am releasing this week. So welcome back to the channel. Please hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. If you're new to the channel, ring that bell, gets you notified when every single video of mine drops. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, this show every single Tuesday, out of theater reactions, and movie franchise rankings. I basically post on this channel every day. So please subscribe so you're up to date on the upcoming videos here on the channel. Comment down below. What are your thoughts on the box office, on a great success story and an epic failure? What did you see in theaters this past weekend? What are you going to see this upcoming weekend? I do respond to all comments. So definitely comment down. Let's have a fun conversation. I love to be open with you guys. And also please like the video, the thumbs up button down below. So without further ado, let's get into the most exciting box office weekend for me all year. And that is that at number one this weekend is, yes, Terrifier 3, owning all the headlines, making $18.9 million in its opening weekend on a $2 million budget. Just the fact that it made 9 times its budget in just its opening weekend is amazing, because this is honestly maybe the biggest movie franchise success story of the last 20 years. Really, we haven't seen something like this since Austin Powers, where that first movie was only released really on VHS and digital, and then it really blew up so much. It still wasn't made for a super high budget, and it still garnered big theatrical return for its sequels. Here you have a main character who's based on a short film, being a supporting character on a short film. Then the first Terrifying movie, while it hit festivals, did not really hit limited at best theaters in 2018, but that movie had a $35,000 budget. Then just 2 years ago, Terrifier 2 hit theaters with a around $350,000 budget. That grossed around $15 million, which is already just even though that already is less than 1 week of Terrifier 3, that still is a huge success story for Terrifier 2. But that was $15 million in its entire run. Terrifier 3 making $18.9 million on a $2 million budget. These are the type of box office success stories that we just don't get to see anymore. We don't get to see indie franchise with such low budgets. And not just low budgets, fan-funded budgets that believe in a character, that believe in a creator, want a movie to be made, get it to be made, and then it not just does well, but starts a franchise that's grossing nearly $20 million in its opening weekend. What an amazing, as someone who loves really loves this franchise, especially the last 2 movies, when I went to the theater, I said, I hope this movie can make money, but it was all over the headlines. Now, yes, it's all over the headlines because it completely dethroned Joker Folia Do, but also it made headlines because, again, people had different experiences. Some people went to the theater because they love the franchise, just want to see the next installment. A lot of people were being told, casual fans, I dare you to make it through Terrifier 3. People were saying they were throwing up or passing out while in the theater. There are so many different theatrical experiences that we've just seen in the weekend of people going to see this movie. That is awesome. Again, with a $2 million budget, there really isn't much promotion, which means this was all word of mouth. And it's honestly, from someone who likes these movies, it couldn't happen to a better franchise. And you can really also see how powerful the horror genre is. If there's a really great horror movie, a lot of the time they can power themselves up in the box office. And it is still probably the most valuable movie genre in Hollywood because it's the cheapest genre to make movies, and they easily, for the most part, can make back their money. They don't need $100 million, even $50 million budgets, and they'll still do exceedingly well. Terrifier 3 on a $2 million budget, already making 18.9. This movie's going to hit the bank for everyone involved in this film. And there's already been talk that there's probably going to be 2 more films in the franchise. I cannot even wait to see what the budget would be for the next movies. But as you can see, a low budget, people are going to come out and see this movie. So what a story for Cineverse, Terrifier 3, everyone involved. And if you're a fan of this franchise, it's a happy day for you, which was a happy day for me to break this down. And number 2 is look at the best of the box office, which is pretty low this week for the most part. Wild Robot, though, grossing another $14 million in its third weekend, dropping 26%. Really good hold for Wild Robot. But shockingly, only 3 weekends in theaters, it is already on digital to purchase right now for around $25. It is really shocking when a movie does pretty good at the box office for it to already hit digital in 3 weeks. So I don't know what the decision was for Universal to pull the plug early, but as we've seen at the box office, and as I'm going to bring up with the next movie on this list, even if you are on digital, these movies still make pretty good money in theaters. So it'll be interesting to watch what Wild Robot's 4th weekend is, because it's already been on digital since today. So that's the number 2. Beetlejuice, and it's in 3rd place in its 6th weekend, grossing another $7.3 million on a 28% drop, $275 million. That's again not good international numbers, but really fantastic domestic numbers. This movie's already been on digital for more than a week, and it's still number 3 at the domestic box office. Not just as Beetlejuice, number 1 on the iTunes chart, but the 2 movie pack of the franchise is number 4. So people are watching these movies at home, but for some reason, $7 million worth of people are still seeing the movie in theaters. So really good stuff for Warner Brothers Discovery. On the other end, catastrophic drop for Joker 2, Joker Folie à Deux, dropping a whopping 81% in its 2nd weekend. It is unseated by a movie that's been in theaters for 3 weeks. It has been unseated by a movie that's been in theaters for 6 weeks. It has been on digital for a week. This is how bad it is for Joker 2, dropping 81%, $7 million, only $51 million in its 2 weekends so far. 2 weeks so far in theaters. Shocking numbers. This is one of the lowest drops for a movie ever. This is Jiggly level, the Ben Affleck J-Lo movie that really hurt a lot of careers in that film. That movie dropped 82% in its 2nd weekend, which was, I think, the worst drop of all time. Joker 2 is just 1%. This is one of the worst 2nd weekend drops in the history of Hollywood. And everyone seems to be hiding. Todd Phillips, they said, is like in a cabin somewhere. This is going to hurt a lot of careers. And not just at Warner Brothers, but now Todd Phillips probably won't be seen as a top-level director like he was heading into this movie. Already, Joaquin was not a big-time movie star. I don't think his career is going to be like majorly hurt for this movie, because he already doesn't pick any really mainstream project. He goes for the weird, quirky movies. So I don't think his career now, none of these people are going to get these paydays ever again. I think that's the biggest problem in Hollywood right now. And that's been the budget problem. But not just the budget problem, the amount of money that these actors are getting paid before the movie even hits theaters. Back in the day, really pre-pandemic, most of these actors' money came from the back end of a movie. Based on the box office, most of the big-time actors, directors would get a percentage of the theatrical money. Just like the first Joker, Joaquin Phoenix and Todd Phillips made all of their money really on the back end of Joker. The movie was like around a $75 million budget, grossed $1 billion, and Phillips and Joaquin rode to the bank on back end. Now, this movie, they all got paid up front. Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix got paid $20 million for the movie each, while Lady Gaga made $12 million on the movie. That's nearly a quarter of the film's budget squarely on paying the director and the 2 leads. And we see that in a lot, even in Wolves, an Apple TV Plus movie getting paid nearly $50 million an actor. I think Hollywood, if they want to improve themselves as it pertains to budget, I think they're going to have to severely limit the amount of front-end payments that they have to make to these actors and directors before the movie comes out. As you can tell of Joker 2, coming off of a $1 billion movie, nothing is a sure hit in the Hollywood space anymore. We're at a point in the post-pandemic where people are going to the movies once, maybe twice a month at the most. And they are not going to put $15 to $20 a person on the line to see a bad movie. Because movie theaters are so expensive, they are going to wait for a Terrifier 3, which has great word of mouth and amazing buzz, for a movie that, even though it made $1 billion, has some of the worst word of mouth we've seen for a movie in decades. So it just shows you that, yes, the audience needs to be, and again, the reason why those two movies can be compared is one movie gave the audience exactly what they wanted. A Terrifier 3 getting a B cinema score is amazing for horror films. Horror films usually get around that C minus range. B is an awesome cinema score, which clearly shows that the people who showed up to see Terrifier 3 believe that the movie delivered what the audience wanted. While Joker 2 got like a D cinema score, which shows that the antagonistic nature of the movie, basically giving an FU to the fans of the first film, did not get what they delivered. And we're at a point now where fans expect something with the movie and they want that to be delivered. And when they get thrown off to such a degree, this is what can happen. A fascinating movies with one movie completely succeeding, one of the biggest success stories of the last 2 decades, to one of the biggest Hollywood collapses of all time. Just amazing to point that out. Wrapping up the top 5 this week is Piece by Piece at number 5 from Focus Features, grossing a $3.8 million opening weekend. I kind of expected more just because it was in Lego form, but I think the movie had a hard time because, yes, it's Lego, it's for kids, but it's a very educational movie. It doesn't really found its total audience in theaters. We'll see how it does on digital, but I did see reports that the budget's around like 16 million. So at least we need around like a 45 million range just to break even. So we'll see what the worldwide numbers look in weeks to come, but Piece by Piece just hanging in there at the number 5 spot. Rest of the top 10, I've already said these numbers a billion times here on the channel, so I'm just going to name the movies in the top 10 domestic this year. Inside Out 2 at 1, Deadpool and Wolverine at 2, Despicable Me 4 at 3, Dune Part 2 at 4, Beetlejuice getting into the top 5 domestic this year at number 5. It is $5 million away from passing Dune Part 2. That's kind of the highest it will go. So it looks like Beetlejuice will be the biggest Warner Brothers movie of the year, which I don't think many people expected, with Dune Part 2 and Joker 2 coming out. Twisters is at number 6, Godzilla X Kong: New Empire at 7, Kung Fu Panda 4 at 8, Bad Boys Ride or Die at 9, and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes at 10. Looking at the worldwide grosses, Inside Out 2 is at 1, Deadpool and Wolverine at 2, Despicable Me 4 at 3, Dune Part 2 at 4, Godzilla X Kong: New Empire at 5, Kung Fu Panda 4 at 6, Chinese films are 7 through 9, and Beetlejuice gets into the top 10 worldwide this year at number 10. Hitting theaters this week is Smile 2 from Paramount. The first film was definitely a big success, especially in the horror genre. This is the first time they really put a mainstream leading actress, with Naomi Scott getting a lead role. Her first time really making a big splash in Hollywood since her run in 2019 with Aladdin and Charlie's Angels. So we'll see if Naomi Scott can make her big comeback in a leading role in Hollywood. Also hitting theaters, limited release this weekend, is Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh's movie, We Live in Time. Big awards movie. That is hitting theaters as well this weekend. So here on the channel, yesterday I posted my out-of-theater reaction for Terrifier 3, as well as my spoiler review of episode 4 of The Penguin. Coming out also today, you saw my review of Terrifier 3. Tomorrow, you're probably going to get my Terrifier 3 spoiler review and franchise ranking video of the Terrifier franchise. Thursday, you'll get my Agatha All Along new episode with spoiler review. Friday, I am seeing Smile 2, so you get my out-of-theater reaction and review for Smile 2 on Friday. And then back on Monday with another Penguin review, and then ending next Tuesday with another box office breakdown show. I'll see you guys in the next video.